Best. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I hope you are enjoying so far the vacation. We are back. I know you didn't really go for vacation, but
I made a vacation here. So
mm-hmm.
I'm still we are in the active.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everything is going on well. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
How was the event you went to cover as Accra?
Yeah, it was good. Lots of talking points.
We'll be talking about that because
Yes.
the reason why we've kept that in the fridge is because there are a lot of busy stories we need to talk about assistants now.
Yeah.
So going forward, we are going to unfold a lot of issues and incidents that happen. In fact, I have a lot of reservations about that particular um, tournament or competition there. Let's see how it's actually going to pan out. But Charlie, we are back, and I'm happy you guys are also back. Let's kickstart and
All right. Talk to me. Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. 80 million for a player who scores 6 goals in the Premier League.
yes, he scored 6 goals in the Premier League, but in the Champions League and in the Premier League alone, he scored 16 goals. So why are we trying to make a mockery of limiting him to only scoring 6 goals in the Premier League? Don't forget last season, Lamine Yamal scored 9 goals in the Spanish La Liga before, like last 2 seasons. We've just ended this season. Last 2 seasons, he scored only 9 goals in the Spanish La Liga. He was second in the Ballon d'Or. So why are we trying to limit the conversation to only 6 goals he has scored in the league? He has scored 10 goals in the Champions League. In fact, he's played for Newcastle United against tougher opposition in the Champions League. Look, we are talking about the creme de la creme in Europe playing in the Champions League. For a player to score 10 goals in that particular tournament shows what he's capable of doing. So, yes, you can have your own thoughts on Anthony Gordon. Personally, if I had 90 million, I was a sporting director for Barcelona. My topmost priority yesterday wouldn't be splashing that amount of money on Anthony Gordon yesterday, instantly. But then again, you bisect the whole conversation and expand it, look at the larger picture, the bigger picture, and ask yourself that the targets of Barcelona this season, are they willing to accept the terms that Barcelona are offering on the table in signing the player? I mean, when you look it in the Newcastle United situation, because one, Newcastle United were willing to accept the amortization process Barcelona brought on the table. So yes, the price is huge, 80 million, but it's going to be splitted in 8 years. So meaning every year Barcelona will pay 10 million to Newcastle United. You see, even in our basic life, in our normal lives that we live in Ghana, when you go for a bank loan and then you are going to pay it in years, every year there's interest added into it. So the moment you are going to extend the number of years you are going to use to pay for the price, definitely they are going to add interest. If Barcelona should have paid also, provided Barcelona were willing to pay an amount instantly to Newcastle United, maybe the price would have been 60 to 70 million. But the moment the installments negotiation comes in, that means the selling club would need to add an amount of money to make sure at least they also benefit from the time it's going to take for the amount of money to be paid. So look, how much did Newcastle United sign Anthony Gordon? 60 to 65 million from Everton. In fact, that time, Chelsea were interested. I remember, was it the coach was Frank Lampard? Chelsea were interested in Anthony Gordon. Everton were demanding 60 million euros from Anthony Gordon. Chelsea couldn't sign him. And then he had to move to Newcastle United. Now, for a team to sign a player for 60 million, and look, since he joined Newcastle United, he has improved. And he's part of the best players in the Newcastle team right now. So if they sign him for 60 million and they want to offload him, definitely they will need a profit, or they will ask for a profit. His profile has also increased, or he has improved, because now when we are talking of potential candidates to start in the right or left wing position for England in the World Cup, he's part. He's going to the World Cup, don't forget. So we saying he has scored only 6 goals, so he's bad. Then why is he going to the World Cup? Obama has scored more goals than him. A lot of wingers in the Premier League this season have scored more goals than Anthony Gordon. Why is he going to the World Cup? Now let me talk about how I think he's going to be of good importance to Barcelona. Look, irrespective of me saying the priority should be a striker and a centre back. Before or after that, you try to strengthen other key areas like the wings, like the left wing, a backup to Rafinha, and also a right back. Look, Anthony Gordon brings in certain physicality, certain defensive actions Hansi Flick needs in a system. The basic principle in the Hansi Flick high press high line Hansi Flick system, quick transition, is for a player to press very well, and the press begins from the attack. Look, that was the problem Hansi Flick had with Marcus Rashford. And look, right after the Atletico Madrid first leg in the Champions League was the day I realized that Barcelona would not spend that 30 million on Marcus Rashford. Because right after that game, the subsequent games we saw Marcus Rashford being on the bench. Hansi Flick preferred to play Fermin Lopez in that position ahead of Marcus Rashford. What did that tell you? But you see, after the season, after he scored that free kick against Real Madrid in the El Clasico, and we're having a conversation about him scoring 20 or him having 26 goal contribution in the season, they wanted to respect that goal contribution Marcus Rashford gives to Barcelona. So you were hearing conversation reports that Barcelona will sign Marcus Rashford. Barcelona would look at this particular point. Any offer that Barcelona puts on the table for Manchester United, so far as the 30 million, they are going to accept. No matter it's in installments, they will accept because they want to offload Marcus Rashford because his wages are too huge for Manchester United as it stands now. Somebody who is not willing to play for the club again. So ask yourself that if he was that highly rated in the Barcelona team, why did Barcelona delay on that transfer? And you could only hear another loan for Marcus Rashford. Manchester United should reduce the price of Marcus Rashford before they will sign him. Look, there are a lot of things that goes into signing the player. Hansi Flick has shown that his system, he's never going to run away from his system, his principles. That is why he blocked the deal for Alejandro Bastoni. That was the reason why, because he realized that, look, the system needs a centre back who is going to partner Pau Kubasi. Therefore, that centre back should be a bit aggressive to be able to recover when the opponent beats the high line in certain situations. Bastoni is a like for like as compared to Pau Kubasi. So definitely it's going to be another bad combination, bad partnership in the centre back area. So you could see this Anthony Gordon deal as someone who always see him as a left winger. Agreed. But can you tell me that Anthony Gordon can't play in any of the positions in the attacking front? He has played as a number 9 at Newcastle United. He has played as a right winger at Newcastle United. In fact, he was played as an attacking midfielder at Everton. And his most dominant position is the left wing. So getting a player who gives you variations in the attacking third means it's going to be very important for the team. And comes in without Rafinha press. That is the most important thing, the press. Marcus Rashford lacks that. And you see, always I say, I don't blame Marcus Rashford. Because where he grew up, at Manchester United, you don't press that high. And he grew up in a system where he was always the star boy before he left Manchester United. After Ibrahimovic and then Cavani left, Marcus Rashford felt like, look, I am an English boy. I'm playing for Manchester United. I'm coming from the academy. They love me. The team is always, it's always selected or it's always built around Marcus Rashford. So he does not press that high. But when you come to Barcelona, Rafinha presses. You also need to press. But he can't do that. He didn't grow up doing that. And now, since you can't press, what was Marcus Rashford's impact in big games where Rafinha was not in that particular game, where Lamine Yamal couldn't play at the highest level? So once again, I refer you, against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, when Rafinha was injured, they played Marcus Rashford in that left wing position. Look, before the Pau Kubasi red card, if Rashford was that clinical, Barcelona should have scored 2 goals from Marcus Rashford before the Pau Kubasi red card. Squandering the chances left, right, center. These are certain basic things to consider, especially teams that aim high, that competes with the biggest clubs in the world. They always want to see your impact in big games. Because we see Rafinha doing it. We see Lamine Yamal doing it. So you coming in as somebody they should be expecting to give them the goals in big games, and you've always flattered to deceive. That means they're going to reconsider their decision in spending amounts of money on you. Don't forget, Antonio Gordon is not going to take as much as Rashford will be taking at the club. Even if he decides to, reduce his wages. Antonio Gordon takes does not take it up to 150 million at Newcastle United.
Okay.
So he will come into Barcelona. Either Barcelona will maintain the 150 million, they will slightly increase or they will reduce.
Okay.
Marcus Rashford at Manchester United takes what, £290,000.
Mm.
Okay, he's going to split 40% off. How much is it?
40% of 290.
£290. How much is it?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So they consider certain factors. Don't forget, Barcelona are always battling with age. I mean, the wage bill in Spain.
Okay.
So look, they factor every basics, every little details you need
Okay.
in a transfer, and that is it.
Okay.
But for me, I think, irrespective of me saying Anthony Gordon is a good player, is going to add up to the Barcelona depth. I think they should have been a little bit patient,
Okay.
strengthen the most important positions before trying to get Anthony Gordon. But I mean, looking at the lineup picture as well, you can also agree with Deco because clubs will come for him.
Okay.
The moment clubs start trooping in, the value is going to increase.
Sure.
So I mean, they took it as
Okay.
fast as possible.
We touch on Julian Alvarez, or I should come back.
Julian Alvarez, I think he should have been the ideal target for Barcelona this summer.
Okay.
But do you fault? Look, that's why I'm saying sometimes when we are talking about these issues, these transfers, you should be a little bit careful because Atletico Madrid are demanding 150 million for Julian Alvarez. Look, no club in his right senses, once again, no club in his right senses will carry an amount of 150 million for Julian Alvarez.
Hey. Are you sure?
Yes. Look, we are talking about league goals for Anthony Gordon. 6 league goals.
26 match.
Frimpong is making mockery of that 6 goals. Let me burst your bubbles. Julian Alvarez has never scored more than 15 league goals in his career.
Okay.
But we rate Julian Alvarez that high. You understand? But I will go for Julian Alvarez to come to Barcelona because I feel like he's the right profile that Barcelona need in the team right now. They need a striker who can be part of the rebuilding process. They need a striker who, when the needs arises for him to be in the penalty box to get in the goals, he can do that. They need a striker who, in certain circumstances like the set piece situation, free kicks, he can give you that goals. I mean, he's casting the mood for that. So look, Barcelona should be very careful. It's negotiation. You should be very strategic. 120, 130 million will be okay. Will be reasonable. But 150 million, they are nothing.
Market, and his most goals was 17 goals. That was 24-25 season.
17 goals
So
in the league.
not even up to 20.
Not even up to 20. So to sign a player for 150 million who has not scored 20 league goals, that doesn't mean he's not quality. We can justify certain situations because at Manchester City he was a deputy. At Atletico Madrid, he's playing a more defensive team. So that can't, you can say you are going to justify that, but that is not enough because we saw Luis Suarez at Atletico Madrid scoring that goals.
Okay.
His quality is high. We saw Radamel Falcao for Atletico Madrid banging in the goals. Yes, the quality, the standards are high. You understand? So you consider all these factors. I think Barcelona and Doku should look. Barcelona has a very good relationship with Atletico Madrid.
Okay.
We can talk of Antoine Griezmann. We can talk of David Villa, Luis Suarez. We can talk of Clement Lenglet, Memphis Depay. They've benefited from players from Barcelona. Barcelona has signed players from Atletico Madrid. There is that business relationship with them. So negotiating very well. They are interested in certain players from Barcelona.
Okay.
So negotiate very well. Try to sign him for a reasonable amount of money. I think he should be the topmost priority for Barcelona. But Anthony Gordon, they are very say fun.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Albertson Lopez. And a quick one, Jeff. Where will you be starting from in this one? Will you start from Anthony Gordon, or you want to start from? Yeah. Okay, Anthony Gordon. Let me hear you, Jeff.
Yeah. Good afternoon to our listeners once again. Yesterday, when I heard the reports of Barcelona trying to get Anthony Gordon, I was a bit surprised because a few days back, a lot of people believed that Barcelona were going to sign Rashford on a permanent deal, and myself, I was included. But with the sign of Gordon, it makes that possibility very, very low because honestly, Barca are trying to solve that problem on the left wing. And for Anthony Gordon himself, that's a huge vote of confidence from Barcelona. For Barcelona to bank 80 million euros on a player, on a Newcastle player, to come into the team, they are not just expecting him to be sort of a squad player or addition to the team. They are looking forward to him being a solution to that problem they had on the left side. Mind you, for 2 years running, Barcelona had yearned for a left winger, someone who can be comfortable on that flank. So they went after Nico Williams for 2 straight seasons, and they didn't get him.
Photoshop player.
You see, and when you look at the profile of Nico Williams, it's kind of similar to Anthony Gordon. You see, they are not wingers who will regularly provide the goals and assists day in, day out, but their contribution is far more. I mean, it brings a good or better performance to the team because Anthony Gordon is not that winger who will give you the goals. To be very honest, but his value comes from his a combination of the goals, the assists, his pressing, the way he tracks back, and the way he creates spaces and chances for the opponent. So Anthony Gordon, Anthony Gordon in Newcastle team, whenever you watch him, he's sort of like a bait in the Newcastle team. Most of these teams see him as a danger, and that creates the chances and spaces for the other attacking Newcastle players to thrive on them. So Anthony Gordon addition to the Barcelona team is going to be a great one, but however there will be a lot of pressure on him to deliver because for Barca to spend 80 million on you is no joke. And if he comes to Barca and he delivers the numbers that he's giving at Newcastle, it will be solid, but it will not be convincing because when you come to a team like this, the fans or the team will expect you to better your stats because one, you are playing with the best players in you can find yourself with in Europe. And Barca is one of the best attacking teams in Europe. So for Anthony Gordon, it will be a chance for him to improve on his goal contribution, aside the fact that he's going to press, he's going to track back. And that's the important thing that we need to realize, that his inclusion in the Barca team is as a result of how Hansi Flick system works, how he wants to play with. Because in Hansi Flick system, this season, I mean, most of the goals that they have considered are breakaway goals, attacking goals from the opponent. And it's as a result of the players not getting back in time to score those chances or to clear those chances. So that has been Barca's problem this season, and the Flick is trying to get a stop to that. So Anthony Gordon's inclusion for me, it's a very good signing for Barcelona. But the problem is Anthony Gordon has to get the goals and numbers in his game. Because if you don't do that, the pressure is going to mount on you, and the fans or the team will start looking at you like you didn't deliver to expectations. So the only thing for Anthony Gordon is that he should try and step up his numbers. Once he gets to the Barcelona team, he will play with the likes of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and all these Barcelona attackers. So it will be a great addition to the team. But once again, his signing has reduced the chance of Barcelona signing Rashford on a permanent deal. Like I said a few days back, especially after he scored a goal in a Clasico, we all thought Barca were going to sign him on a permanent basis. But looking at the way that Barcelona are going, I don't see them. I don't see the possibility of Marcus Rashford being maintained at Roma at Barcelona. Especially, they would rather decide to bank their money on a defender or a striker.
Quick one on Julian Alvarez deal as well. It is emerging Barcelona interested, or it will turn like the Nico Williams deal now.
Well, after the sign of Anthony Gordon yesterday, I mean, we heard the reports in the morning, and by evening we had they had finalized the deal, and with the reports coming out that Julian Alvarez is going to join Barcelona, I think there's a high possibility of him joining the team because Julian Alvarez himself somewhat looks like he's down with Atletico Madrid. But the price tag that Atletico Madrid are demanding is something that is very, very huge. Looking at Julian Alvarez's profile, Albertson was saying that as a striker, he has not scored for more than 20 goals in a single season.
League season.
But we believe we see him as one of the great strikers in world football now. No doubt about that. He's an excellent, he's a quality player, fantastic player, which every team would love to have him inside. But strikers are judged on goals, not your all-round play. It doesn't matter what you are contributing. If you're not getting the goals, there will be backlash, and that's something that, of course, you can say that because he's in a more defensively set-up team, that's why he's not getting the numbers. But aside that, his contribution is great. So the 150 million price tag that Atletico Madrid are demanding, I feel it's a bit inflated, and I'm not surprised. That's how the market has been over the past few years. Any player who gets in his strive, in his best of forms, then the market value starts to raise.
All right.
So I think that's something similar to the Alvarez situation, and whether Barca can bank that 150 million euros on Julian Alvarez. Of course, Barcelona need a replacement for Lewandowski. They need a striker, but whether they are going to fully pay the 150 million on Julian Alvarez as a striker, while there are other areas to sort out in their team. So we will see how that unfolds.
Sure. Thank you very much, Jeff, in there as well. Quickly. Okay, you want to use that mic? Okay. I want us to take this conversation to a different level. Okay. A team is buying a player, a winger, in this modern day era of football. The player has played over 26 Premier League matches. The player has scored 6 goals.
Champions League, I should say.
Champions League, 10 goals.
10 goals.
And then you are here bringing all parameters that he's a best signing and he's a better signing than Marcus Rashford. An experienced Marcus Rashford who has been playing for your team for about 2 seasons now. And bringing all other factors that are looking at his pressing and the way he does well with the attack. What is happening?
Kabilo, the thing is, football. Now, football is a dynamic game.
Okay.
Every coach and the kind of players that they will want to work with. Now, the question is, in as much as Anthony Gordon doesn't have the league numbers backing him, is he the profile of player that fits Hansi Flick's style of play?
Okay.
The question is yes. The question, he fit. He fixed Hansi Flick's system because of the way he pressed, the way he's both on and off the ball movement and everything. They fixed the system.
Okay.
And although you will say that he's not having the league goals, but in the Champions League he proved that he's indeed a better player.
Okay.
So him coming to Barcelona, and we shouldn't forget that Newcastle this season haven't been that a good team.
Okay.
The entire Newcastle team have been a bad team this season. So Anthony Gordon joining Barcelona, that is an upgraded side of Barcelona. I think things will work out for him, but signing him for that 80 million is the question. Because in as much as you are going to pay 10 million for every year, 8 years, it doesn't make sense. Paying 80 million for Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon, 80 million. Premier League tax.
England, Accra.
He was saying something, Anthony Gordon is going to start in the England national team. It's not going to happen.
It's never true.
It will never happen.
Tell him that.
I don't know.
Never
I don't know
happen.
whether you didn't hear me. I'm saying when we talk of contenders to start in the Englishman, I'm not saying he's going to start.
He's not even a contender.
How many right wingers did they call?
England. He's going to be a left winger.
No.
They called Marcus Rashford and Anthony Gordon as left wingers.
Let
Rashford.
me give you the wing.
Rashford will start over.
There is the attackers. There is Bukayo Saka.
He's a left
Noni
winger.
Madueke.
And left winger.
There is Marcus Rashford. Anthony Gordon. Okay. Oli Watkins. Ivan Toney, Harry Kane.
So they have 2 left wingers. He's going to be a contender.
And 2 of them, whether you like it or not, Rashford is going to start over Anthony Gordon.
Definitely. Rashford will start over Anthony Gordon.
No, we let us give it to time. So I think Barcelona are paying huge for Anthony Gordon.
They are overpaying for him.
To be honest with you, Anthony Gordon, that 80 million. I think, although you can say Newcastle signed him for 60 million.
45 actually.
45.
Yes.
So him joining Barcelona,
45 million pounds.
Yes, pounds.
45. So
and Barcelona has paid 80 million euros. So 45 million pounds to euros is how much?
Okay. Maybe we have to also check from those times during the conversion rate. No, but
you have to do it at that time.
Yes. The euro to pound
So at that time, it's the same. The euro
No,
has not
it's not the
depreciated.
same. It also varies. It inflates as well.
No, but maybe the euro has
What
appreciated.
they do so they maybe.
Oh, no.
Charlie, talk
No,
to me
It's no,
about.
it's no. Who as a Barcelona fan,
Uh-huh.
you ask yourself, Barcelona paying 80 million for this player. I mean, to be honest, in my personal opinion, Anthony Gordon is a good player.
Okay.
He fits the system totally.
Okay.
But that 80 million is the question, because with this you have raising a high standard
Okay.
for the player, and now people are going to judge Anthony Gordon based on the price tag,
Okay.
not based on what he's going to do,
yes,
not based
yes,
on his
yes.
potential, but based on the price tag.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I have a problem with that. Even
Okay.
yesterday, when I saw the news, the first thing I told myself was that everybody that have watched this Barcelona team, whether being a fan or not a fan, knows that the problem for this Barcelona team is the defense. So why don't you solve the defense first?
Yes.
After that, is Frank de Jong that your typical number 6 that you can use to dominate football? No.
Okay.
So you also
So
search for.
who's the ideal number 6?
Obviously, there are several numbers. You can even sign Bruno Guimaraes for 40 million.
Then again, you are getting the whole thing wrong.
What whole thing wrong?
Is Bruno Guimaraes the kind of midfielder Barcelona need?
What kind of midfielder does Barcelona need as your number 6?
I saw it somewhere yesterday that Barcelona needs to sign a ball winner in the midfield. A ball winner in the midfield. So then the Bruno Guimaraes conversation comes in. Look, how many times are Barcelona going to win balls? What was the last time you saw Barcelona playing with a defensive midfielder who is that aggressive?
Okay, so now the question is, you two as a Barcelona team, you want to dominate football based on Frank de Jong current situation.
What's his
Is
situation?
he that the ideal number 6 that you can use to
No,
dominate?
but
football?
Frankie de Jong is currently one of the best defensive midfielders in that particular role. When I'm
Currently-
mentioning top 5, you can't mention that Frankie de Jong as number 6. Mention your top 5.
Currently my top 5.
Look, because he's not that aggressive midfielder. But look, the partnership between Frankie de Jong and Pedri this season has been one of the best. We talk of João Neves and then Vitinha. You talk of Frankie de Jong, Pedri.
Are you sure?
You understand? Look, you might say Frankie de Jong. Yes, when you talk of his injuries, I agree. When you talk of his injuries, that his availability.
So with that, you should go in for a number 6 that you can partner him with Pedri. After that, you look for your number 9.
No.
So Barcelona splashing that 80 million for and trust you me. Now every team have known that you can sign Anthony Gordon for that 80 million. That will be one problem that Barcelona will face this season.
No.
Because with that, the price of every player that Barcelona will go in for will skyrocket.
No, but you are saying Anthony Gordon for 80 million is that huge.
It's huge.
But the last time I asked you for 150 million for Julian Alvarez, that is okay.
No, with Julian Alvarez,
Uh-huh.
he have proven it at Boca Juniors.
Uh-huh.
He came to Manchester City.
Uh-huh.
He showed that he's a good player.
Uh-huh.
He have also shown it at ATM that he's indeed a good player. So with Julian Alvarez, that one is not a problem.
Okay, good. So Julian Alvarez at River Plate was up there.
Sure.
He moved to Manchester City.
Sure.
He has proven.
Sure.
He moved to Atletico Madrid. He
Sure.
has proven.
Sure.
Was Anthony Gordon bad at Everton?
No.
No. Has he improved at
No.
Newcastle United?
No.
So then what is the problem now?
No, so
He has also proven.
no, but he haven't improved at Newcastle.
Can you tell me the Anthony Gordon we saw at Everton is the same as Anthony Gordon at Newcastle United?
What have been his Premier League figures?
Oh, look, you are bringing numbers. Look,
No, but now
which
foot-
season?
but now
as
football is a
Everton.
numbers
Okay.
game.
When he was at Everton,
Uh-huh.
was he playing the Champions League?
No.
He came to Newcastle United. He's playing the Champions League. He gives 10 Champions League goals. Is it normal?
10 Champions League. goals.
Yes.
What happened in the league?
You are saying his numbers.
No, so
I say his league numbers.
So now the question is whether you like it or not. The player will also play in the La Liga. Will also play in the
You
Champions
sit
League.
here and attest to the fact that Newcastle, the entire Newcastle team this season has not been good. Look, it got to a point they were 14 from the league. They just did well just later part of the season that they pushed forward. So in the league, Newcastle were bad. I'm not saying that is a justification to whatever thing I'm saying. But when we're talking about the numbers, for a player to have 16 goal contribution or 16 goals in the Champions League and the league, play for Newcastle United, we're talking about his assist. He's averaging 20 goals and assists this season.
And even with Newcastle, I remember some days back you used Bruno Fernandes as an example that Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United is the go-to guy. Now at Newcastle, this Anthony Gordon was their go-to guy. In the champion, but who? Who? Walter Martin or who? Anthony Elanga or who? He was so Capello
Okay,
with this. I think Barcelona
Yeah.
have spent Capello
No,
this.
but no, for him saying Barcelona has spent too much. This same Frimpong is okay when Manchester United sign Sergio for 80 million.
Wait,
Sergio
Frimpong,
played
finish up-
3
finish
seasons.
up for me. Yeah.
3 seasons at Leipzig. He didn't score up to 40 goals. You are okay for
How
a
many
team.
seasons have Anthony Gordon played for
Look,
Newcastle?
you are
Okay.
talking about only this season.
How
He
many
has 16
seasons?
goals.
Okay.
No,
Capello.
for it to be okay
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Manchester
yeah,
United.
for me.
Capello,
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah.
permit me,